Okay, now gotta give love for my rural guys. So what I thought was kind of really neat and interesting was I text and got a hold of some nine-man football coaches, and I showed them this formation because this is if I was coaching nine-man football, this is the formation that I would run a pre-snap RPO, and I just kind of threw out there, hey, how would you defend this, right? How would you defend this? And I got three different ways they would defend this, and I was like, oh wow, like it's kind of neat. It's just really interesting, brain or picking other coaches' brains on how they see things or how they would defend things. And when they showed me the way they would defend it, and they gave their reasons why, okay, and I put it down, I put it on my playbook here. I thought, gee, it does get a little more complicated, and it does maybe because I'm not used to it, but it's kind of unique, right? Six aside and nine aside is very unique football, and you know it takes a little bit different, or it takes different strategy, but it's fun. It's just like 12 man's fun to dial up plays, right? Six and nine aside, same thing. It's a lot of fun. I find it like playing chess, right? Really gets the hamster running on that treadmill. So on the pre-snap RPO one, right? I kind of showed it like I showed before with what I did with my playbook with the ISO, with the inside zone option. For those of you that don't know that the nine-man part, you have to have five linemen on the line of scrimmage. The two outside players are eligible receivers. So in this case, the Z, which I think they refer to as a tight end, he's just split out, right? The one that's on the line of scrimmage would be your tight end. So as long as you have three on the line or five on the line, two outside players are eligible receivers. So this first example here in the RPO one, this defensive coach, the way he would defend this is his corner on the Z is going to be in press tech. His other corner is going to be over top of the Y, and his backer is going to be over top of the S. And he actually, oh yeah, there we go. Oops, no, sorry guys, went ahead. He actually takes his linebacker, right, over top of the S. Sorry, he actually takes his safety and cheats him over towards the trip side. The R here is rush in as outside contain, and he lines him up further out. Okay, we have a tackle inside, and his defensive end that's over top of this tight end. He has, I guess, what would be called a lock call, and the tight end has no free release. Okay, so in this example here, the pre-snap RPO, the read would be for the quarterback is to run the inside zone. Okay, run the inside zone. The receiver, I would still run the outside release, right? Still stop block with the Y. The S would still run the bubble, but I would not throw the bubble, right? No numerical advantage. Instead, I would run the inside zone. And the way I would block it would be my right guard would be on the tackle. We'd still have a combo block in effect between the center and the guards. They'd still be working onto the tackle and to the MAC. And the tight end, I would believe, would have an easy block because of that DN's responsibility is to no free release. Well, you'll be able to get your hands inside of him because he wants to make contact, so you can't just release. And I would coach my quarterback to run inside zone on this all day long. The one question mark I would like to know would be, is this rush end? What I would do if I was a nine-man coach, and I would probably go off of film, is he coming down hard on the mesh, right? Or is he actually just sitting out there playing, I guess, what defensive ends are taught at the 12-man to play 50-50, right? 50 the outside and 50 the inside run, right? So I would, because then if he's coming down hard, well, then I'm going to turn it into a zone read. Okay, that's what I would do. Now, I'm not an expert in nine-man football, but I think this RPO versus this defense, I would go with the inside zone, and I would have no problem calling this all day long. I think it'd be an easy read for the quarterback. And once again, it's a play that's protected. If we go to pre-snap RPO number 2, The way this defensive coach defends this formation is if we look to the trip side, corner is off, so we don't have a press tech. So his depth's around 4 to 5. Okay. The backer is in line with the corner, and he's about 4 to 5 depth as well. Okay. The corner is, or the other secondary player, is what I would consider. So when I talk about a perimeter to the perimeter box area to the receiver side, my rules are a little bit different, obviously, than the box, right? I talk about it being from the inside or the inside slot all the way to 2 yards outside the Z receiver, and the depth goes as far as 10 yards. I believe if you have 2 defenders within this perimeter box, that's a numerical advantage, even though it is 3-on-3, but he's so far back, we're going to gain ground, right? Well, he's already lost ground. That's how I coach it, right? We already got ground gained, right? He's lost ground. We're going to throw that bubble, right? Okay. By the time he comes downhill, we should have 7-8 yards. That's right. That's how I coach it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's how I coach. I believe we have a numerical advantage here to the perimeter. So we will throw the bubble. Okay. The rush end here has the same kind of responsibility as the previous RPO one. He is outside. He or she has contain. Okay. Has contain. Now, instead of having extra D linemen, right, they go with 2 linebackers, right, and an edge player here who has contain and who locks on the tight end. Okay. Safety does not cheat over to the trip side. Safety keeps his regular alignment of I think 10 to 12, right down the middle of the center. Okay. I'm not saying you can't run inside zone, right? I believe you still have, I think you got angles, and I think you still have, like I said, it depends on this R here, depends on the R. I still think you could run inside zone, right? However, I like to get the ball to the outside because this would be one of my playmakers, one of my dudes. I make sure he's a dude, right? And I like like I said, it's 3-on-2 because he's out of there, and I like the matchup here. But I'm not saying you can't go still and run inside zone here with this defensive look that we have here. Okay. Oh, and MDM right here for the Y, that just means block most dangerous man, right? Because I think he talked to me about sometimes these 2 guys will switch right when the ball snapped. He'll actually drop back, and this guy will come downhill, right? So I just tell the Y to block most dangerous man. Okay. So here's 2 different way defenses would defend this type of formation. The third one here, another interesting one, is that what they do is the corner, right? I guess I have here free safety. They're over top of the number 1 and number 2 receiver. Okay. This D end here to the trip side, he's split out wide. He has dual responsibility. So his responsibility here is he's got contain as well as he has to play any type of receiver screen. Okay, so I'm assuming this player here is a really good football player because having dual responsibility, right? You got to be a good football player. So he's out here with dual responsibility, right? They go with 2 interior D linemen, and then the defensive end away from the trip side, he's out wide, and he has contain as well. So he's out wide, he has contain as well. So in here, right, the blocking scheme, and the linebacker was up the tight end. He is responsible in man coverage for the tight end. Okay. So what I found interesting with this one is I would really like to know this DN that's to the trip side. I'd have to really understand his alignment, how far he splits between the S and our guard, right? What type of athlete this defensive player is. I think that would have to go a lot into decision making or how I would scout it and how I would prep the quarterback that week of whether to play the bubble, right? If we get this look on a pre-snap read, or whether to, hey, we're running inside zone. Okay. Right. I would be, or maybe even zone read, maybe cut it off a little bit shorter, right? The path, right? I would really have to see how good of a player this is. But the blocking scheme is very similar to the 12-man blocking, 12-a-side blocking scheme, is where we got combo blocking here, right? Combo blocking here. And I think with the tight end combo blocking, right, with this defensive tackle, right, makes his job easier because the linebacker is responsible. So we get combo here, right? And as a linebacker comes to him, he's going to pick him up, right? To be honest, and I think the 9-man guys, or the nine, sorry, I should say 9-a-side. I think the 9-a-side coaches probably weigh in a little bit more than I could on this example here. I would have to look at this defensive end and see what type of athlete this player is before I tell the quarterback, when we see this look against this formation, against our RPO ISO pre-snap, what's the best decision to make? Okay, right? If this guy, if my player here is a better player than his, right? If I got my playmaker here and he's splitting the difference, I'm definitely going to tell him, hey, let's throw the bubble all day, man. Throw the bubble all day long, right? My guy's better than his guy. Let the athlete and let the playmaker go out and make a play. Keep it simple, right? Like if you saw me before in that slide, we're simple but not predictable, right? And if he is a dude, right, or if he or she is a dude and can be a dual player, right? Well, if we did call this, I'd play it safe, right? Hey, run inside zone. Okay, because that's still quite a bit of a way to come downhill in chase technique, right? So inside zone might be the safest way to go if this player is a very good player. Okay, that's the advice I would give to my quarterback. So these are kind of 3 examples of defensive how 9-a-side defenses would defend this type of formation, right? Hopefully it gives the 9-a-side coaches an idea on how to attack it, or I'm hoping it even gives them an idea on how to, dial up something I haven't even thought of this formation, right? I'm hoping to take at least one thing out of this presentation. All right, because I know I'm past time, right? I'm just going to finish off here with the 9-man RPO. And basically, I have it drawn up in a tight formation. So tight formation for those 9-a-side coaches, right, is where we got double tights. So kind of like, it looks like our 12-a-side where we got 5 offensive linemen, but they actually got 2 tight ends. Okay. I will run it with a fullback or H-back. I guess I got the letters. Whatever, fullback or H-back. This is the formation that I would run with it. Of course, you could spread out the tight ends as well, right? But I would, if I'm running out of a tight formation, this is the way I would do it. I would still block it up like I mentioned before. That's why I kind of start off with the 12-a-side. I would have a lock call with my right tackle on the edge player. I'm going to combo with my guard and the center onto the nose and to the MAC. And if I have a 3-tech here, right, where we don't have where the angle is better for the tackle, we will cross block this, and the F will lead up through onto, I guess I got it drawn up as a sandbacker. Okay. If let's say we have it, let's say the 3-tech here is actually playing 1-tech, we have angles, right, or we have leverage, so we'll have the guard still playing head up, and we will not cross block it. But like I said before, on this B gap design, if we have a 3-tech, we will cross block it. Okay. The rules stay the same as for the H-back and the running back. If it's closed, we're working outside to log. If it's open, we're going through there. Okay. Tailback is going to read end man in line of scrimmage. If he's out, I'm in. If he's in, I'm out. And then I guess in this case, the slot back would be the Z in the 9-a-side. Right? We're going to run that breaker post. His number one job first and foremost is to cross face, right? Make sure he cross faces of the DB that's covering him. And his number 2 responsibility is replace the space of the linebacker that goes downhill. And the read player would still be the linebacker here, the quarterback. We're meshing, comes downhill, pull the trigger, stays put or opens up 45-degree, hand it off, and if he's in doubt, give the ball. Okay, so that's That's how I would run. I have a couple more ideas, but I know I'm past time, and I know time's valuable, right? It's the ultimate thief. You can never get it back. I think I do have one more, but I think I'm going to stop there because I want to make sure I'm not boring anybody. But those are the ways I would run a post snap and a pre snap RPO and 9 aside. And the way we run 9 aside, or sorry, the way we run pre and post snaps are examples I gave with our ISO and our Delta. And like I said before, I will incorporate jet as well, outside zone, okay, with our post and even our pre-snap reads in the RPO. And I just want to say, unless anybody wants to see one more little diagram, um, I appreciate the opportunity to share with what we do here in Yorkton in with the RPOs, with the pre-snap and the post-snap RPOs, and I'm very thankful, appreciative of you coaches for logging in and hearing me talk and giving your time up, not just for yourselves to become better coaches, but for the players because they're the most important part. And I appreciate all the coaches that have taken me underneath the wing and have coached me up so that I could be the best coach I can be for the players that I have the opportunity to coach.